Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers.
I can't tell you how excited I am to be on right now. It's been a couple of weeks of excitement getting prepared, and I've done a lot of things in my life, but this has got to be close to the top.
Thank you, ReadersMagnet, and thank you, John, for putting this forth and taking the chance on our authors in presenting this out to the world.
I've enjoyed this immensely, Joanne.
Ellie, so have I. Thank you for who you are, and thank you, ReadersMagnet. You all are beautiful, and you've worked so very hard, and we are blessed.
We are.
I thank everybody that's involved with this process, because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers. We thank ReadersMagnet and everybody that's involved. I love ReadersMagnet. They say, we share your stories with the world.
Hello and welcome everyone to our Author Live session. This is going to be a 10-minute interview with an author that will actually provide us a wondrous or a story today. So you can catch us streaming live right now to our Readers Magnet Facebook page and also to our Readers Magnet YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button. So today, I'm very excited to introduce to you one of the featured authors. His name is Glesty Waters, and he's the author of the book Wrongly Accused, the Glesty Waters story. Hi, Mr. Waters. How are you today?
Hey, we're doing just dandy. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm good. I'm actually just finished with my cup of coffee and basically reading a little bit about yourself here. So I kind of have the idea already what's going on, and it's very interesting to like what happened with your life back then. Probably my very first question here for you. You were kind of young, I guess, that time when you were wrongly accused for something. How old are you during that time?
I was 35 years old.
Okay.
Yep.
And were there even a moments where you kind of doubted your innocence or something like that?
I never doubted my innocence,
Mhm.
because when you're not there, and you have no idea or concept of what they're talking about, and
Mhm.
it's just like dropping into um, how can I say it? I'm thinking like dropping into a Chinese restaurant, and
Mhm.
you know what? I don't eat Chinese. Okay, in other words, they took me as a person, and then basically used me as an instrument to make this story into a conviction. And they had all the players in place to get it done. And I had a public defender, and I had one investigator, and you don't get anything. You get the bare minimum, and it's all about, hey, you need to take a deal, you need to take a deal, you need to take a deal. Well, when you're 100% innocent and you were never there at that location or any vehicle that they claimed was involved, and I don't own a vehicle like that, I was never in a vehicle like that, and just taken off the street and turned into a monster, okay, put through the system, and then kicked out the backside to take on and live your life and act as normal as you can when it's all said and done.
What is this crime that we're accused to you?
I was accused. Let me back it up.
Mm,
My first involvement with this was in contact with my car, which was a '79 Honda Accord hatchback.
mm,
I was on a city street, minding my own business. Two cops rolled up. I wasn't moving in my car. I was sitting in my car. Rolled up, wanted to see my license, wanted to see my insurance. You know, talked to me for 45 minutes. Okay, never even asked me to.
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I think we're
Anyway, so anyway,
having a little bit.
um, you know, so
Okay.
so so anyway, this 45-minute stop, they wanted to take my picture. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm not under the influence. I've got my personal storage belongings in my car. I gave you my license. I gave my insurance to you. What have I done that's creating you to want to take my picture? I didn't know if it was some new law, in the city of San Diego, something, could they actually do that? I mean, I'm questioning it. And the guy says, well, we can do it here, go downtown and do it. So at that point, I realized that, my time was, going to have to make the decision. And I said, all right, take my picture. Took my picture. 2 weeks later, they came to Oregon, okay, and arrested me for attempted murder, assault, robbery, assault with great intent, and see, there was 5 charges. It was attempted murder, kidnap, robbery, assault, and assault with great intent. Those were the charges against a woman by the name of Helen Toy.
Wow.
Yeah, and what was I accused of doing? I was accused of taking this woman, picking her up from a bus stop in a white station wagon, older white station wagon, with
Hmm.
a broken right wing vent and a dent in the right rear door. Okay. And I supposedly had taken this woman out to a place called Otay Lakes Road and reached over, grabbed her, attempted to strangle her, is what they're claiming. And
Right.
then I pushed her out of the car. During the time I pushed her out of the car, her false teeth stayed in the car with her purse. Okay. So that was the
Hmm.
rob. Okay. So anyway, that's what the arrest warrant was pushed across the table to me, and that's what I had to face, in front of these two detectives and a jury of
Right.
12. And my
Hmm.
goal is to locate the 12 jurors, okay, that sat in on my case, because nobody's going to know the case better than them, and let them see the fabricated evidence that was used in my case, and let me show them the facts of the actual way that this whole thing went down, and have this jury look at this, and then let's get a new decision on what they see, that if in fact I should have been convicted or not, because I want to clear my name. That's my ultimate goal. I want to clear my name, and then I want to prove how they did it, and then I want to make sure that there's safeguards involved, that other people like you, my neighbor, my sister, my brother, my father, my neighbor's father, doesn't fall victim to these kind of situations that just were ridiculous. It should have never happened, but it was covering up the corruption of a lot of it was covering up the San Diego corruption of at least 7 detectives that were under investigation for the murder of 45 prostitutes. Yeah, 45
Wow.
women died in San Diego from 85 to 88. Okay, and those newspaper articles back there don't lie. All right, the cops were suspected of having involvement in these activities, and I just happened to be an scapegoat. They took me, paraded me around like I was some Green River Killer guy. And listen, I had never stepped foot in Washington State. How in the hell can I be labeled fits the description of the Green River Killer? And if you read my book, on the back cover shows the incident report of that 45-minute stop where I'm being labeled the Green River Killer. So,
Oh my goodness.
how'd you like your brother to be named that, or your dad? Okay,
Right.
I'm a father of 2. Okay, my kids were young; they were on their way to the Olympics in the swimming, and
Wow.
all
Okay.
those dreams, all those things were
Hmm.
destroyed.
Oh,
And
I'm sorry
and
to hear
and
that.
when you're cast out, you don't have anything. You're lost. You're a criminal. You're a felon. Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
I can
who's going to hire
absolutely
somebody
agree.
that's a felon? All right. So there's a lot to this, and all I want is my justice. I want justice the way justice should have went down with the the lady that holds the scales. She got a blindfold on. Well, in San
Yeah.
Diego, the blindfold was off and it was all one way. So I got the facts. 30 years of investigating my own case with investigator Mike Kiger for the last 10 years.
Yeah,
You
he's
can
a
talk
good
to
one.
him. He'll tell you. He knows.
Right.
So,
So, anyway, Leslie, I'm sorry, Mr. Waters. I would like to ask you this as well, because this can really affect a lot. You know, um, like what happened to you during that time. But I just want to ask you, how did the entire roller coaster events affect your or did it change your thoughts about a higher power, or
oh yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what? When I came onto this program today, I thought, you
Mm,
know what? I need to really just let the public know. God warned me. God warned me in 1986/87 not to be in San Diego in 1989. I honest to God, I am not telling any stories. This actually happened. I explained it. It's explained in my book. Um,
mm,
God told me my future, flat out told me my future, and I didn't freaking listen. But everything has a reason and a purpose in God's rules. Okay, in this world with God and Jesus. Okay,
mm.
and unfortunately, I was strong enough to survive what I was about to experience. Okay, and if I didn't have the mentality and the talent and the understanding of the situation and the fact that I should have listened, okay, um, I wouldn't be talking to you today. Okay, but the incident was God gave me two visions and he gave me a voice in 86/87. Do not be in San Diego in 1989. And I mean, on that day that I seen those two visions and heard that voice tell me that,
Mhm.
I ran to my wife and I said, listen, I don't know what it means, but this is what happened. And then I just felt completely renewed. I had new thoughts and directions for my life, things I was, with the kids changing. We had sold our house. We were moving. Where are we going to go? It was just a strange time. And, for the visions and the voice to say that. And then I ended up in San Diego on January 6th of 1989. And that's when all this hell broke loose.
This
So
is
I
how it all.
opened the door. I opened the
Right.
door for my own demise. Okay. To
Mhm.
experience what it was that God told me don't be in San Diego for. So, in one way, after it all went down, and I'm sitting in that jail cell with one of the most serious, worst serial killers in the country, Alan Buzzard Stevens was my cellmate. You know, I'm living I'm living in this freaking nightmare, knowing that this guy was killing people on purpose. Okay, there's a difference. You know, somebody accidentally shoots somebody because they didn't know the gun was loaded. Somebody has a hit and run because they were drunk and killed somebody. That's not what this is. This guy is the worst of the worst. And, to just have that evil, devilish environment always around you, 724, it's just, you just got to have the energy and the power and the understanding to survive, because you
Right.
get weak, you show weakness in there, and they will kill you.
Yeah, I can agree. But I just want to ask you this as well, because you're in the prison already by that time. Or you're inside in the prison by that time. And what was the usual response of some of the inmates in there to you professing that you are innocent, or did you believe or did any of them believe that you were, wrongfully convicted?
You know what was interesting about that was the ones that believed my innocence was the actual deputies and the people and the personnel that worked in the jail. They
Hmm.
knew I was innocent. They knew I was
Wow.
being set up. Oh, it was amazing. The day I walked out on the day of sentencing, the judge looked at the DA. I was facing originally 67 years in a state penitentiary.
Hmm.
They tried to give me a 15-year deal. And I mean, they literally shoved that thing down my throat every day. Listen, you got to take this deal. You got to take this deal. I said to my attorney, I said, listen, I was never there. I never did this crime. I don't know what they're talking about. And I'm sure as hell not going to sit here and say that I did something that I had no knowledge of. I'm not going to do it. And so finally, my lawyer goes, well, you need to give me something I can sell. Okay. Yeah. And not only that, but my own attorney, he when he realized I wasn't going to take a deal and be listening to this, he wouldn't even come see me unless I had chains on. Oh, it was sad. It was terrible. And the bottom line was, with the convictions I got, I was facing 9 years because I got convicted of, I got convicted of kidnapping, assault with great intent. So
Yep.
I came back.
That's a tough one.
On appeal. I came back on appeal and beat the great assault with great intent. So that got beat on appeal, but I still got to this day kidnap and assault for a crime I never did. And for 30 years, I'm just like, I'm not going to quit. I got to get my name cleared. This is ridiculous. This is America. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to suffer for crimes you didn't do. And,
Absolutely.
I didn't sit on my ass for 30 years playing around with this. I've been busy. The first month I got out of jail, on the day of sentencing, the judge looked at the DA and looks at me and he goes, Mr. Waters, do you think Oregon's still available for you? And I looked at him and I said, oh my God, I'm sure it is. He goes, well, you're going home today. Okay. And that DA threw her pen down, stormed all over the place. And that's when the judge says, you couldn't get Green River out of your eyes. And this is not a Green River case. I mean, how do you even bring Green River into my story? Right. That's the amazing thing. How do you put that name on me when I'm in San Diego handling personal business, but you put the Green River name on me and I've never even stepped foot in Washington State? What right do you have to do that to me?
Yeah. Well, anyway, Mr. Waters, my last question here for you is that were there any positives that you were able to take away from such an awful, experience during your time in prison?
Okay. All right. So you're asking me the question, what positiveness come out of me being released?
Yep.
Is that kind of it? Okay. Well, yep. All right. Let's talk about that. First off, I've been married 49 years. And ironically, my wedding anniversary is Valentine's Day. Okay. And, back then, guess what day my preliminary hearing was? On Valentine's Day.
Wow.
All right. But anyway, my wife knows me. My kids know me. They know I'm not a violent person. I've never laid a hand on any of them. And my wife and I are both martial arts experts. Okay. They didn't know that. Okay. A martial arts expert, we know how to protect ourselves and we know how to protect others. Okay. And the fact that I do that saved my life in prison. So those 3 years those 3 years, my wife and I went to the Educational Culture Complex in San Diego, which was a brand new college back then. It was a godsend that we took the time out to learn that. So anyway, as I got released, I got busy. I mean, I was sick for a while, probably a week to 3 weeks. I mean, I was sick. I was sick because I just couldn't believe this had happened to a citizen of the United States like me that had never done any crimes like that, and to be taken and made into it. And it wasn't that, oh, well, you know what, maybe you're not that guy. And they just let you go because the evidence don't prove it, So anyway, I had seen it all. I dealt with it. And getting released, I went back to work for Honda. And I worked 3 times harder than I've ever worked and went on to build a happy life. I've got great grandchildren. My 2 sons are very extremely successful in their lives. And, I went on to build 7 brand new homes. I bought acreages of property, did complete developments with new home installations, and went on to build my automotive business. And, I don't expect to be rich. I don't want to be rich. I just want to be known as I'm not that guy that did that. and that
Yep. I
and
can absolutely agree with you,
this
Mr. Waters.
conviction was a fabricated situation that was preventable, but they rode the wave, and it was political, and it was financial, political, and hey, the DA that convicted me, Bonnie DeManis, she went on to be the DA for 30 years, and I'm not the only one that she did it to. But because of the power of how it went down and all the people involved, I knew after I got released that it would be better to be quiet as a mouse and just collect the evidence, and when the time was right, bring it forward and show the public just exactly how they did it before everything could be destroyed. Well, guess what? I wrote the book in 2012. I've hired an appellate firm to go after my conviction. They applied for the records in San Diego, and everything's been destroyed in 2013.
Wow,
Why?
that's
Why
mhm.
would they destroy all the records of mine? Okay. They still got open cases down there. They've had open cases for over 30 something years. Okay. And it includes cops that were under investigation for murdering prostitutes. Okay. So why are you destroying records unless you got a reason or a purpose to get rid of evidence?
Yeah.
So
Well, that I doubt, that's also, that could be a possibility. Well, I cannot say yet, that it's, or I cannot conclude at all, like
well,
that's what happened.
I
But based
that,
on
that,
like
I have
what
no
you told
doubt.
me,
I have no
yeah.
doubt why they destroyed the records, but I got news for them. I've got
Hmm.
I've got copies and copies and copies of the entire record, and other people have copies and copies of my records. They are not going to get away with this. We're going to get this story out. We're going to prove these facts, and my goal is to do it and do it sooner than later now, so that we can move
Okay,
on and have a better United States. Because my
sure.
ultimate goal is I want to see term limits for district attorneys, term limits for all politicians. No more of these politicians that are corrupt, rotting in an office for 30 years, corrupting everything around them. We need change. This country needs change. And we need 12 jurors that were on my jury to hear the facts, get a copy of my book, and read the facts in my book, and then ask for demanding, hey, he says he's got this evidence. We want to see it. Okay, so I could give this jury of 12 people that convicted me with this crime I've been hanging on to for 30 years, and come back and go, you know what? If we knew that information right there, you wouldn't have got convicted.
Yeah,
And the people that did this to me, they need to be put on the uh, made held accountable. When
I,
I can prove this evidence to the public, and you know how hard it is. You got to do it
it
with a
is
book. You got to do it with a
very
news
hard.
story. You got to get it out there some way. Well, you know what? You guys are the the Trojan horse. To march this thing forward, and let's clean up America judicial system and make it bigger and better.
I agree. Well, anyway, I really wanted to know more about what happened during your, past life, this situation that you had in the past, Mr. Waters. But we're kind of running out of time here.
Oh, let me let me
But
let me let me let me throw this to you real
okay,
quick.
okay,
In
go.
in the San Diego jail, there's 5A and 5B. Each Okay, 5A's got 4 cells, and each cell holds 2. Okay, this is where the worst of the worst go. This is where they house them. Okay, I don't know if you ever heard of the Trailside Killer, Carpenter.
Yeah, yeah, I heard about that.
Okay, he was in the cell right next to me. David
Oh,
Lucas. Okay,
wow.
a convicted killer. Okay, he was in the cell next to me. There's 4 or 5 other ones. That were in the cells coming and going right next to me. Okay, but having to have Alan Buzzard Stevens in my same cell, I think they planned that, and I honestly think that they wanted him to kill me. But when I first made contact with him, I looked at Stevens and I said, if you think of doing anything to me, the first thing I'm going to do is take your eyes out. I said, you won't be able to see what's going to happen next. And he giggled and laughed, and he goes, you know what, Waters, I believe you. And as an old biker, I mean, I used to ride bikes. I used to build choppers. I used to build racing machines back in the 70s. You know, hey, I'm familiar with bikers. Okay. I'm not a bike. I wasn't a biker, but I used to fix their bikes at Honda,
Your bikes. Hmm.
and Harley. I used to have my own shop across the street from San Diego Harley Davidson.
Wow.
So yeah, so we had a lot of rapport with a lot of bikers and a lot of stuff back then. But hey, I was never the guy that they made me into. Never.
Well,
So anyway,
that yeah, that's a very interesting story to really know about. And for those that are watching us live right now, if you'd like to know more about Mr. Waters' story, kindly get a copy of his book, Wrongly Accused: The Glesty Waters Story. You can see the cover in there. It's available at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. And do you have a website, maybe, Mr. Waters, that they can
well,
check that, or
actually,
maybe a social media account?
you yeah, you guys are the ones building the website for me.
Oh, okay. So we're working on it right now.
Yep, yep.
Okay, so we're gonna get that up out there in Amazon.com once that is already completely live. But for those that is really interested to get a copy of this book, check Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. You can directly buy from those distributor. But thank you so much again for your
Hey,
time today, Mr.
hey,
Waters.
before we go,
Yep.
real quick, I
Yes.
just
Go ahead.
want you to know that that godly experience that I had, where I was told my future, I've had other very very spiritual situations occur in my life, in which included my heart stopping for 6 minutes back in 2014. I got to go to the other side. So hey,
And,
I've
and
got a
that is
lot.
also in this book, right? That
Nope,
was that
that's
also.
not. No, that's going to be. I've got two more books coming out, and in the next book, I'll have, or the third book should have the story about. Well, actually, let me back up. If you go to LinkedIn and connect
Hmm.
into my wrongly accused, the Glesty Waters story LinkedIn connection,
Hmm.
you can read backwards the story that I'm telling about my experience on the other side with that 6 minutes and no heartbeat. Uh, and the only reason I ended up in the hospital because I was laying in the bed to go to sleep at 10 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden, a voice right next to my bed said, "If you go to sleep, you're not going to wake up." 45 minutes
Wow,
later, I was in the hospital with no heartbeat for 6 minutes. Okay. Think about that. That's
that's creepy.
absolutely true. Yeah. And I got to go to the other side, and oh my God, I'm telling the story on LinkedIn. Okay. And
Wow. So there you go, guys. If you'd like to also kind of get into that kind of story, please check him out
oh,
on LinkedIn as well. All
very,
right. Well,
very
thanks. So,
spiritual.
yep, I can absolutely agree with you with that, Mr. Waters. But thank you so much again for your time. I really appreciate that a lot.
Okay, thank you, and I appreciate being a part of your organization, and look forward to uh, working together with you to make this story get out, get told, and get my name cleared.
Yep, we will definitely going to work hard on it. But again, thank you, Mr. Waters. And as we say it here with Readers Magnet, we share your story with the world. Goodbye.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much. Bye.